What's up, Zach? Day 22 here, my Zach Attack Challenge. So today I'm going to take a break on teaching you about money, but I am going to continue to teach you about energy. So here's a really good trick that I learned. It's called a worry list. So from time to time, I tend to worry just like everybody else does. And I found that my worries would kind of like build up in my brain, and then I would just have trouble focusing on other things, and I would get just kind of overwhelmed and stressed. So this is something that was taught to me, and I want to teach it to you. So this is called a worry list. So essentially what I do is on my phone or on a piece of paper, I'll write down worry list at the top, and anytime that I have a worry pop into my head, I'll just write it down on the list, and that way it gets out of my mind and I can kind of carry on with my day. So my worry list will tend to build up. Now the trick with the worry list is I'm scheduling a time in the future to sit down and do nothing but worry. So sounds kind of odd, but that's how I do it. So my time is every Wednesday at 4 p.m. I set a little alarm. So every Wednesday at 4 p.m. my alarm goes off. I pull my phone up on my list or on the piece of paper if I've written it down that way, and I kind of go through the list one at a time. And what happens is when I go through the list at a later date, some of the things that are on my list will no longer be worrying me. So I'll be able to cross them off my list. Like, for instance, maybe one of my worries was what to buy at the grocery store, what kind of food I wanted for the week. And maybe that was worrying me because I was kind of confused. So then I came back Wednesday at 4 p.m. to look at the list, and I had already done grocery shopping. I already figured out what I wanted. So that worry wasn't even a worry anymore, so I could just cross it off. So some of the worries that I'll go down the list, maybe they do still worry me, so I'll save them for my list the following Wednesday. But here's the trick of the mind. Here's what happens. When we worry, a lot of times we're just making things up in our mind to worry about. And when you get it down on paper, what you're worried about, it frees your mind up to do other things. And then when you come back to that list and look at that worry, 9 times out of 10, whatever was worrying you no longer worries you anymore. It's just, it's pretty amazing how it works. So I just wanted to show you that, teach you that little trick. It's something I've been doing for a long time because I tend to over worry about things from time to time. I kind of overanalyze, and instead of getting in a downward spiral of focusing on whatever problem I have, when I write it down on my list, I free up my mind to then carry on with my day, and I'll go back to it at a later date. So that's just a good tip. Try it out if you ever find yourself with a lot of worries or a lot of stress. Create a worry list and then figure out a time in the future that you'll sit down and look at that list. And I can almost guarantee you that when you sit down to look at that list, most of those things won't worry you at the time you read it. So hope that message serves you well. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.